everybody got to do.
What? Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I came in today with a little bit of celebrity news. Now, the first one up is Janet Jackson. So here lately, the matriarch, the mother of the DeBarge kids, has said that she found Janet Jackson's alleged daughter. Now, you know, back in the 80s, Janet Jackson and James DeBarge eloped, and it was a little scandal because you know how tight the Jackson family was back then. You know, Janet Jackson is the baby of the family. And the reason why I said it was a scandal is because she was, you know, considered a good girl. And for her to have eloped, I'm sure it stunned her family as well as the public. Janet was so young, we couldn't picture her married. Well, flash forward. Janet Jackson and James DeBarge's marriage was annulled, but the story is that at that time, Janet was supposedly pregnant. Now, the story is a little conflicting. Some say she went to Japan and spent some time over there and she had had an abortion. Others say that she had the baby and that the baby was given to her oldest sister, Rebe, to take care of. Now, here lately, the DeBarge's mother says that she found this woman who's 31 years old, who's claiming to be Janet Jackson's daughter. Now, the DeBarge's mother went and had a DNA done, and the DNA came out that it was 96% chance that this young woman was related to her. Now, that doesn't mean that that woman who is claiming to be Janet Jackson's daughter is really her daughter. Because if you look at the picture, she doesn't look like the Jacksons at all. The Jacksons have a certain look, and so do the grandchildren in the family. And when you look at this young woman, she doesn't look anything like either the Jacksons or the Jackson grandchildren. A lot of people, when this came out, they were going in on this young woman, you know, calling her ugly and, you know, how could she even perk up her lips to say that she was related or the daughter of Janet Jackson. I won't go that far, but what I will say is a family has a certain look. And this girl does not look like them at all. She very well may be related to the DeBarges. She's just not Janet's daughter. Now, there was a girl back a while ago that everyone speculates is Janet's daughter. Now, this daughter, this girl, they claim, was a result of Janet's second marriage. Now, I'm getting a little cloudy on this one, y'all. So, if it's not James DeBarge's child, then they're saying that it was Janet Jackson's second husband. But if that's the case, you know, Janet was well into adulthood then. She was, you know, well known. Why wouldn't she keep her own baby? You know, why would, you know, if the allegations are true, why would she give her daughter to Rebe to marry? Because it wasn't like she was, you know, a teenager and, you know, the family didn't want the scandal. Janet Jackson at the time, I believe, was well into her 20s, so she was a responsible adult, and there would have been no reason for her not to keep her own child. So if you guys know anything about, you know, the reason why, you know, if this is the child by her second husband, why she wouldn't keep this girl. Now, honestly, between me and you, y'all, this girl does look a lot like Janet. Now, it could be that she just has that Jackson look, and, you know, that's all it is. But when I look at her, even in this picture, a faraway picture of her, she looks like Janet Jackson. So there may be something there. You know, who is this girl's mother? And who is her father? Have you guys heard anything about that? You know, because I'm wondering myself, you know, if Rebe was raising this girl, why? And who are her parents? Do you know anything about that? Because when I looked, everything kept going back to Janet. Well, like when I was looking around to see how she ended up with Reby and who was this girl's parents, I couldn't find anything other than, she was directly linked to Janet. Everybody saying that this is possibly the long lost child of Janet Jackson. I don't know, y'all, with Janet Jackson. I was a teenager when she was a teenager. She's 50 years old. I'm 52. So, I remember Janet when she was younger, and this girl does look a lot like her. I just don't understand why, you know, a woman in her 20s would give her child up. And I just, for some reason, don't believe that this is Janet's child. But there's always been this cloud hanging over Janet. You know, the fact that there is a child out there who Janet is the mother of. I don't know, y'all. I go back and forth because the more that I look at this picture, this girl really, really looks like Janet Jackson. And if Janet gave up her baby, say, because she wanted to further her career. I don't know how I feel about that because you can be a mega superstar and, you know, still have a baby at home. So if Janet did that to further her career or, to keep it silent because they wanted her to be portrayed as this good girl, maybe her family pressured her into that because, that family is dysfunctional, the same as the DeBarge's family. Now, Bunny DeBarge came out and said that her mother was just older, and she doesn't dispute the fact that the DNA came back at 96%. What Bunny DeBarge does dispute, though, is that this is Janet's child. She said that she believes that her mother, had heard all the rumors herself and, just put two and two together and thought that this was Janet's child. But again, I don't believe that that girl is. She may be related to the DeBarges, but she is not related to the Jacksons. So, guys, I want you to tell me what you think. Do you believe that that girl that the DeBarge's mother, shows the picture of or did the DNA test with, it is Janet Jackson's daughter? And do you believe that this girl that looks quite a bit like Janet is Janet's child? I don't know, but that second one that I showed y'all, this one, she does appear to look a lot like her. I just don't know, basically why, if she is Janet Jackson's daughter, why would Janet give her up? On to the next story. The next one up, y'all, is Darius McCrary. Now, you might remember him from Family Matters. He played Eddie Winslow, I believe was the name of the character. Well, he's making a little bit of news lately. Now, the last time we saw him just recently, he played in the Mickey Howard Story. He played Gerald Levert in the movie, and I thought he did a great job. I was reintroduced to all of his chocolatey goodness. He looks really nice in the movie, and he did a really good job as Gerald. Well, the reason why I wanted to talk about him today is a little domestic problem that he's having at home. Let me just tell you what his wife has said is going on. So his wife filed a restraining order against him. And the reason why she did that is because she's saying that he's been beating on her and has been a little bit abusive to their daughter, their 1-year-old daughter. So basically, she says that what's going on is that he drinks and he does drugs, and when he comes home, that he's very violent. She said at one point there was an occasion where he actually, and get this, y'all, because if this is true, this is really bad. She said there was a pot of boiling water on the stove, and he actually held their 1-year-old child up over that pot of boiling water. She also says that he routinely or occasionally ties their baby's hands, I guess, to the high chair when the baby is eating, which I don't really know why that is. But y'all, here we go again with another celebrity that is being accused of domestic violence. Now, as I mentioned, she filed a restraining order. The judge has said that he cannot come within 100 feet of her. The judge has also said that he is not allowed to see his child due to the allegations, and it is what it is, y'all. The wife is saying, that she has filed or is filing for divorce due to all the abuse that she suffered at his hands. I guess this girl is tired of it, and we tell them to leave them. If the guy is being abusive, to leave them before they fuck around and fuck you up permanently. Now, on the other side, his lawyer is saying that she is just wanting her 15 minutes of fame in the spotlight, that she's doing this to extort money out of him. Y'all, what else are they gonna say? You know, we look at these celebrities, and as I've said in other videos, we forget that they're just people too, and that they do things that every you know other normal, or not so normal in this case, person does. The point I'm trying to make is that, they're not above doing things like this just because they are a celebrity, just because they happen to be on television or they have a lot of money. They're not above that. A lot of times when these stories come out, the public goes into overdrive bashing the woman, disregarding what she's saying. They always say that she's just saying that because she wants something for him, or she's trying to hurt his career, or something like that. But y'all, we gotta kind of stop that, because, like I said, these men are just everyday men like everyone else. The only thing that separates us from them is the fact that they are a celebrity. That they do have, quite a few more coins in the bank than what we do. Just because they have celebrity doesn't make them some type of superhuman or a god. Now, these allegations that his wife has leveled against him, these are pretty serious, because, it's one thing to whoop her ass, but you take a 1-year-old, if what she's saying is true, and you hold that baby over a pot of hot boiling water. Now, I have boiled things before, and the vapors that come up off the hot water are hot themselves, itself. The steam that rises up off the boiling water, the baby had to be screaming. That is cruel, you know. And what if, he would have accidentally dropped the baby in the water, through yelling and screaming and, being, amped up. What if he would have dropped that baby in the water? How would they have explained that, And then the fact that she's saying that he ties the baby's hands when the baby's eating. I mean, I don't know what that's about, but that's child abuse, Those two things are child abuse, and I'm pretty sure that in this, restraining order, the details of it, she probably, told them some other things that have occurred in their relationship. And the reason why I say that is the judge is preventing him from seeing his child. Now, normally a man can have a restraining order against the woman and they still be allowed to see their child. They're not even allowing him to see the child with, supervision. They're saying absolutely not, until they can get this case, I guess, in the courts and figure out, what's what. Now that's pretty bad. You know, I don't know what his problem is. She says that, he's a heavy drinker and he does drugs. Now, I remember a few years back, Corinne Steffens said he tried to run over her with a car. Now, when she said that, a lot of people kind of, said, consider the source, and they didn't believe Corinne Steffens, Superhead. They didn't believe her. But maybe now that this stuff is coming out with his wife, maybe what Corinne Steffens said was true. Maybe he does have a tendency to whoop a bitch's ass. Like I said, we don't know these folk. We only know the public face that they put out there. He's not going to come on or just go out there and say, you know, yeah, I occasionally whoop a bitch's ass. He's not going to say that. He's going to deny, because he knows it's his career that could be damaged because of, what's going on. You know, this is really sad. Um, every so often we have these celebrities who we think, we like them, and we think that they're good people, and then you'll hear something like this, and it's hard to believe. It's difficult for us to see them in this negative light, but there have been a lot of little stories coming out here lately about some of these celebrity men who, people are finding out are abusive to their spouses. And y'all, you know, that can be very dangerous, and especially with the things that she's accusing him of. Like I said, it's one thing to whoop her ass, but to tie the baby's hands up, you know, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm done. I thought he was all chocolatey good. He good to look at and everything, but she can keep that. She can have all that chocolatyness, because she says that he's punching her all in the head, slanging her across rooms and shit. And, like I said in another video, behind closed doors, we don't know what these men are doing. And when you are being terrorized, your baby being held over a fucking pot of hot boiling water, and, you got this man all, you know, drugged up or drunk or something. What if he would have been shaky and dropped that baby? Lord, y'all, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of this story, because I really hate to think of Eddie Winslow, aka Gerald Levert, being this type of man, but I'm going to err on the side of the woman. I'm not going to always err on the side of these men, these celebrity men. I'm always, unless it's, something truly crazy, going to err on the side of the person that appears to be the victim. Just the fact that this judge, they found something to it, again, where they're not letting him see his child, not even with with a supervision. That's pretty uncommon. So let me know what you think about this story, and on to the next one. This next story up, y'all, is about Kordell Stewart. Well, y'all, I read that Kordell is about to sue the shit out of Andrew Caldwell. What I read is that he's suing Andrew Caldwell for $4.5 million. Child, I don't know where he think Andrew Caldwell gonna get all that money, but Kordell is definitely suing him. Now, what that tells me is Andrew Caldwell, if Kordell wins this court case, is going to be paying Kordell for the rest of his damn life, child. But let me just tell y'all what I read. So Kordell is saying that, all of those allegations that Andrew Caldwell made against him damaged his ability to make money. He says that he had to turn down certain jobs because those rumors were out there, and certain jobs that he was not even considered for. Now, let me just back up a little bit and tell you about Andrew Caldwell. Y'all remember Andrew Caldwell. He's the little guy that's a little special, and he said that he had an ongoing relationship with Kordell. He said that when they were together, Kordell bought him expensive gifts and he was kind. Now, all of this stuff was supposed to have occurred while Kordell was married to Portia. Now, later on, Andrew Caldwell came back out and apologized. He said he made it all up. But that has stuck with Kordell. And the reason why is because this is not the first time that Kordell has been accused of being homosexual. About 20 years ago or so, Kordell allegedly had gotten caught in a park performing a lewd act on a transvestite. Now, Kordell has always denied these rumors are true. He said that when this is all supposed to have occurred, he was at home watching a movie. He was not in Shenley Park. He has no idea how those rumors got out there. He also says that he thought when he first heard the rumor that it would die down and, it was just barbershop talk. Now, the rumors never died down because along with that rumor, it said that Kordell was arrested that night. That the police officer that caught him allegedly performing the sex act actually arrested him. Now, the rumors are that Kordell, being an ex-NFL player, had the money to pay his way out of it. And maybe he paid to have, the records, permanently sealed where the public would not be able to view them. Now, nobody really knows if Kordell was in that park. It's just always been out there. So when Andrew Caldwell came along, this was not something new to the public. And here's what I say about this story. Like I said, we don't know what happened. But, the fact that this story is so detailed, I mean the original story, not the story about Andrew Caldwell, the story about him being caught in a park. He had to go to his team. The rumors got so bad and it was so much out there that he literally had to have a meeting with his team and let them know that these rumors were not true, that they were all made up. He told the guys on the team, hey, you know me, this is not something that I would do on the night in question. Like I said, I was at home watching a movie. So I'm just saying, did this story did someone just pull it out their ass? Was Kordell, in Pittsburgh during that time? And this story just dropped out of the ether from somewhere. I don't know, y'all. But I just know that the story has always been out there. Now, this suit that he has against Andrew Caldwell, he says he's doing this again because, due to that story that Andrew Caldwell put out there, he lost work. He lost his ability to make money. He also said that it caused a lot of hurt and pain for his child. He said that because those rumors were out there, that they were swirling around the ether again, that his child was teased at school. Y'all, Kordell just cannot get away from this rumor. And I wonder why. Is it more things out there that, are keeping this rumor afloat? Is he so suspect that we just, right when we say, well, maybe it didn't happen, then something else happens and we say, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. Now, remember, Kordell appeared with Portia Williams on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, Kordell had been kind of out the scene, the national scene for a while, and then he popped back up on Real Housewives of Atlanta when Portia made her debut on the show. And then all of the rumors started swirling again. We watched him kind of treat her in a manner that kind of bothered us. We felt like he was a little domineering, and that, he kind of, led her in a way that we didn't like. He just seemed to be mean to her. Now, that was the first season of Real Housewives. And then, after that first season, he didn't want to come on the show. Wait a minute, I think Kordell was on there a couple seasons. I'm not sure. But I know eventually he didn't want to do it anymore. He wanted off the show because he felt like not only was the show damaging his marriage, but it was also damaging his reputation. And we know famously on the show that after him and Portia broke up, Portia said a little few things that made us kind of, side-eye Kordell again. She said that she kept her body tight. She tried to be the best wife that he wanted her to be. And that she didn't feel that he found her sexually attractive. Even on the show, she said, you know, she wanted to get pregnant. And she said on the show that to get pregnant, you need to be having sex. And she kind of alluded to the fact that she didn't allude to it, she actually said it, that her and Kordell were not having sex. So, at that point we were like, well, maybe, not only is he not, attracted to her sexually, maybe it's because, she's a woman and that's not how he swings. She wouldn't be attracted to him if he was gay. And everyone was saying that Portia was his beard. And, eventually they divorced, and, he was no longer, excuse me, on the show. And, he also went on Steve Harvey and talked about his book, and, he steadfastly stood by that he is not homosexual, bisexual, any kind of sexual, but heterosexual. But you know what? I don't know. I don't know why Kordell cannot get beyond this rumor. It just seems a little strange to me. Now, I feel like this. If he was in that park that night, he is the one who has damaged his career, his life, his this. Because you know what? If this is the life, if this is the person that you are, just be who you are. Now, I know 20 years ago, it was hard to come out and say, if you were bisexual or homosexual, especially being in an NFL environment, because, the whole environment of the NFL is being macho, being a manly man, and he would not have had a career 20 years ago. But you know what? I'm the type of person that believes like this. If Kordell is gay, this has got to be eating him alive, not to be able to live the life that he should be living if he is gay. To have to deny yourself who you are, that's the point that I'm trying to make. It's got to be torturous to the soul. And then to constantly have to, fight, allegations in the media and all of that. At the end of the night, when he lays his head down, you know, how does he come to terms with what's left of his life? It's got to be hard. I'm not saying that Kordell is gay one way or the other. I'm just saying that if he is and he's in the closet and I feel for him actually, because that has got to be hard, because nowadays, a lot of these athletes that are gay or, you know, dealing with something like this, they're just saying, fuck it, I can't live like this. I'm just going to let it all out. I'm just saying, I just wish that we lived in a world where they could just be themselves. Again, I'm not saying that Kordell is gay. I'm just saying that if he is, I wish he could live in his truth. Because I believe that whatever people think, whatever may come of, if he, just stepped up to the plate and said, yes, all of this is true, this is who I am, he might suffer. Well, he is going to suffer in the, in the media, but his soul, his inner spirit will be better for it. And that's just how I feel. Tell me what you think about this story. I was all over the place with this one, y'all, because I was trying to get across what I felt about Kordell. So excuse me if this one was a little blundering, but in the middle of it, I started thinking about it. I was going to go one way with it, and then I thought about if a person is in the closet and it's just so difficult for them to admit who they are, how that must tear their soul apart. So again, I was going to go one direction with this story, and then right in the middle of talking, y'all, my heart stepped in. So with that, everyone, thank you for watching the video as always, and I will catch you in the next one. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye now.